finally here. April Fool's Day. You guys thought we were gonna be on time. We fooled you.
Yeah, you're totally tricked.
You may
I'm
notice,
ashamed already. Ashamed already.
You may notice that our setup is a little different today, and that is, but you also notice that we are in like 25 frames per second, and that has been usual. Yeah.
You can watch us talk about incest in 25 frames per second.
I know.
It's saying I have dropped frames now. Whatever, we're gonna keep going. We're gonna keep going. It's fine. We'll be.
It's because I started punching.
Yeah.
It's because of
all the violence. Huh?
Oh god. Oh god.
Oh, you
Now
are stuck.
Everybody froze.
Everybody's frozen. Wait.
Oh, dang it.
Okay. Unfrozen.
You thought today's MangaPod was going to be in 25 frames per second. April Fools. Fooled you. Hey.
Hey! You also thought we were gonna have no lag and no technical problems. Ah!
Ah.
Welcome to
I'm just gonna go
MangaPod.
try.
We're a weekly podcast in which we all get together after we discussed all or part of a manga, and we discuss it with friendship, love, and lots of spoilers. I am Aaron of Happily Aaron, and with me are two of my lovely favorite co-hosts in the entire world. Unfortunately, our third one could not make it tonight. He's really bummed because he loved the manga we read so much. Like, he texted us. Yeah. We'll give his final score at the end, but he loved it a lot.
His score was, I was shocked. Although I think my feelings are probably about the same.
Yeah, I agree.
He likes it more than Yu Yu Hakusho. He said that. I can quote him.
It's true.
Interesting. So I'm bummed that we're not going to get his opinion on what we read. So, which... This week. Oh, wait, you guys introduce yourselves.
Hi, I'm Dodger. Press R to continue and dexterity bonus. And I am delighted to be here in 25-ish frames per second.
Yay. Hi, I'm Dr. Dazza from Fine Nippon and the Dr. Dazza, and I'm happy to be also here in about 23 frames per second from the Cross Pacific.
I'm in 50 frames per second, so you suckers can suck on that dick lollipop.
Hot.
If you guys are wondering why I am so tiny, it's because if you haven't noticed for other manga pods before, we've been having a lot of XSplit issues with screen regions and the lag and stuff. So we just did one giant-ass screen region and going with that. And if you're wondering why the Kuroko stuff is there, it's to cover up Skype names so we don't do whatever happens with that. So, yeah, so I'm hella tiny, but that is the sacrifice I'm willing to make. I am willing to be tiny for you two.
Is it for Dodger so she makes it feel like she's really tall today?
Always. Whenever Brooke and I hang out, I just walk around on my knees just so that it makes her feel better. I just knee walk.
That's true. Oh my god. I put up a video of a bunch of us at Disneyland, and the jokes that have been pulled out have been like A+, 10 out of 10 sort of par. Good ones. Classics such as Dodger, maybe next time you should stand all the way up while you're recording. Get out of here.
Get out of here.
You know, Dodger, it'd be more professional to not do it from such a low angle shot.
Your next, huh?
Yeah. If you could stop holding the camera like right here, get out of here.
That would be great.
You're just doing FPS view.
Anywho.
You know how, like, in FPSs, they have them by the chest? With the guns coming out?
Uh-huh.
Right. I'm really being considerate, is what I'm trying to say.
Basically.
Yeah.
We read about incest this week.
And there was also a nipple twicking. Nipple twicking.
Yeah, some nipple tweaking, some bear masturbation.
You guys are all about the bear, but there was also a marker involved in that.
The bear and the marker. I know.
I find more impressive.
There were a lot of elements.
I find more impressive.
I don't know. The nose to clitoris right there, I thought that was a very, very nice shot.
Oh, yeah, that was very low.
Wait, does this count as spoilers?
No, okay, we have to do the description.
Okay, if you've never done this for a MangaPod before, what we do is give you a spoiler-free description, aka a summary, and then we also give you our spoiler-free recommendations, whether we think you should spend time reading the manga that we read or not. That way, if you decide you do not want to be spoiled on the manga, you can take your leave and then come back and watch the VOD of this on my channel. Dazza?
YouTube.com/Happily Aaron.
Purple Hair is where we are right now!
Where we are right now.
Apparently it's...
Keita has two stepsisters who love him in a lustful way and have no problems expressing it, even though they are in competition about it. Much to the laughter of his friends, he endures it, but when one day they come to his school to give him lunch, he gets annoyed and explodes on them. Then they confess their feelings for him in front of everyone and leave. Feeling sorry, he chases after them and says that he'll study hard in order to get into the same high school as them.
It's a touching story of love and sibling bonding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So guys, spoiler-free recommendations.
God, I'm trying to figure out how to even come at this from an objective standpoint.
All right.
I thought
All
that
right,
was
here we
that
go.
an intent.
If you want to read a hentai without... What?
Oh,
What?
I was asking if Brooke's comment was an intentional innuendo.
Oh, it was not.
Okay.
Not.
Okay. That's why I laughed so maniacally.
Oh man, go for it, Dazza.
Yeah, Dazza.
Okay. If you want to read a hentai, but without hentai, this is for you.
Yes. It's a good way of putting it. 10 out of 10, I would read all over again.
It's like if you're say if you're at work and you want to read a hentai, but you can't because you're at work. You read Kiss X Sis.
Oh,
Objection.
It's not safe for work.
Disagree.
That's not true at all.
I do not agree with that.
Nipple tweaking is not safe for work. Do not get into the working world and think that that's true. Boo.
I know, you just go to a
in the
meeting
bath and having
and you
your
start
hand up your
squeezing.
sister's vagina is not safe for work. FYI. Spoiler free.
vagina's
Yeah,
not safe for
spoiler free.
work?
That's in the chapter. It's fine.
This does not count as hentai, but it's like it's close. It's like borderline. I guess it would count as softcore, but
The term for it is ecchi.
Oh, really? Is that like what you would call it? That's like the genre?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is ecchi. Yeah.
Oh God.
This is an ecchi manga.
Itchy.
I will say, okay. Okay, here we go. As I continued reading, I was able to enjoy the way that the characters became like actual characters more, because as it went on, it couldn't just be like, oh, let's make out with our brother all the time. Like, they actually had to develop characters. Mm-hmm. And I enjoyed that. Some of the humor was actually like funny. Sometimes the characters were legitimately funny to me. But I would say that I wouldn't read this again. You know, I wouldn't continue reading this, I don't think. But I did enjoy myself sometimes. So I don't know.
Yeah. I agree with that. It wasn't like straight up.
Look.
It wasn't straight up porn either.
It was.
So.
But like, I don't know. I guess if you want to see, man, lots of panty shots, if you want to see lots of just like girl jizz faces, then this could be the manga for you.
This is the manga for you. Can I state really quick that if you go to the Kiss X Sis, spitting everywhere. If you go the Kiss X Sis Wikipedia page, it is only labeled as comedy and romance. There is nothing about what else it could possibly be. I mean, the summary is like, two sisters, la-di-da-da. But if you get like the two sisters thing, you're like, oh, maybe it's just really sweet and romantic. You are in for a wet and wild ride right there.
Definitely wet and wild in some shots.
On that note, we're going to go into spoiler section.
Yep.
So you will have 5 seconds to get out of here if you don't want to be spoiled on the glory that is the first 23 chapters of Kiss X Sis. Do it, Aaron.
Oh my, there. Yeah.
Get out of here. Okay, we're in spoiler section.
Kato is God.
I knew you were gonna do that. I was gonna say the jizz is God.
Jizz is God.
Jizz is God.
Yeah. Oh God, I just no.
Should we start with our expectations?
Church again.
Yes, we should start with our expectations.
I think that for this one specifically, it's important to start with expectations.
I did not, like, I had heard from a lot of people being like, why are you going to read this? Why are you going to read it? And I was like, oh, the story must not be very good. I had no idea what it was actually about, because we didn't have MangaPod last week, so we didn't have the spoiler-free description. So I didn't know.
True.
And I didn't look it up before I downloaded it. And so I was like, oh, I'm going to read some manga before I go to bed while David's watching a movie. And I'm just sitting there scrolling. I was like, it's the thing.
I'm just going to read this later.
I was like, and it made me really upset because I always, on Tuesday, read my manga on my lunch break. I couldn't do that with this one, and so I had to like speed read it when I was like had planned to do other things. I was like, oh, all the incest is screwing up my schedule. So I wasn't expecting the level of detail that it went into without actually going into as much detail as it could have to be a straight up porno. I also wasn't expecting, when I first started reading it, I actually wasn't expecting the characters to be as defined as they were. Can I just say that too? So,
yeah.
There's my expectations. It's a thing.
I believe at some point, either Yoku or Daza said, it'll be our first NC-17 MangaPod. And I remember thinking to myself, something's gonna happen in this manga. And even though I really was expecting it to be just mostly like romancy stuff, it did surprise me. It surprised me how much there was just like lady masturbation and like brothers getting drunk and molesting their sisters, and like it was just a lot more of that than I was expecting for sure. But like I said, because it started off so heavily like that without any real character definition at all on the part of the sisters or the brother, I couldn't tell the sisters apart for the longest time. I was like, I don't know, you act the same. You're the same person. I don't know. And then the longer that we read, they became like different characters. Like they had different personalities. And I was like, okay, this is getting more interesting. This is getting more fun for me to read. Like ignoring all the weird molesty parts. This is getting more fun to read. And then, like, eventually, other ladies that weren't his half-sisters started showing up, or stepsisters. Other ladies that weren't his stepsisters started showing up, and I was like, oh man, actual potentials for a healthy relationship? No way! And then I got really excited about that, but we didn't get to see them long enough to see any of that develop.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I guess my expectations were that I thought there was going to be more romance and less, please put your D in me, I can't stand it, which was really the subtext of the entire manga. Mm-hmm. So, Daza.
I'm the one who chose this manga.
Yeah!
I was trying to remember if it was you or Yoku, and I was like, who was it?
You know what? When you were saying the thing that you were like, yeah, this is going to be our first NC-17 manga, but you couldn't remember who said it, I was like, I couldn't figure out if it was Yoku, because Yoku has said that about so many things, where he's been like, this is going to be the most awkward MangaPod. Yeah. He's said that about Berserk. He has said that about Masturbation Master. He said that about one other one. I can't remember, but he has said that about so many manga.
And it's funny because most of the time when he says that, we come back and we're like, that was a great manga.
Yeah. It's like, what do you mean? What was wrong with that? And this one,
See,
we're like,
I choose the R-rated manga, and everyone's just like, oh.
Did you like my text in that group message? Who the fuck's idea was it to read this?
I just sit there and laugh. But my expectations for the actual manga come from the anime. I watch the OVAs because I'm a guy, and when I'm a teenage guy, not now, but when I was younger, sometimes you watch things that aren't exactly healthy.
It's all good, man.
Listen, this is healthy.
Right.
So I was just like, April 1st, what would be a good manga? And of course, just before we switched the schedule onto like onto the Reddit, I of course switched to Kiss X Sis. Of course, I had to. And of course, I'm the one that has all the weird manga up my sleeve.
That's true.
The last time we had a weird manga, we cancelled that one. It made me really sad, but I've got that saved again.
Which one?
Which one?
I'm not telling.
No, you have to. I'm gonna.
I can't tell you guys
put number
because then
6
you'll
on every
know
single
and
date
not
if you
wanna
do
do
not
it.
tell me.
Anyway, so my expectations were from the anime, and the anime, to be honest, isn't fantastic. It's basically she wants the D, and he doesn't give them the D, which is quite sad.
Right.
Because you know that's the
You're like, just
plot.
give them the D.
I'm here sitting here as like a 15-year-old wanting to watch something where I'm just like, okay, I can't watch hentai because I'm not old enough yet. I'll just watch something that's really there. And they just don't give it. It's just like, ah. But the OVAs, which is what I watched before the anime series actually came out, because they actually made a full 13-episode series, surprisingly.
Good.
Was very disjointed, so it didn't have like an overarching plot. While this one actually had a overarching plot, and it wasn't the sisters' backs going over him. And I was actually really surprised about that. I won't say it was fantastic, but I was surprised.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was yeah.
I will
You know
say.
what weirds me out? Sorry.
No, you go ahead. I was just gonna say I can. Sorry.
Go. Do it.
I was just gonna say I could. Never mind.
Yes.
No, never. It's stupid.
I was gonna say, you know what weirds me out is the parents want them to bang so bad. They're like, who are you gonna choose? Are you gonna choose them both? You should all just touch each other.
Oh my
And I'm like,
God.
stop it. Why are you all so weird?
That one.
Like, and then all of like old ladies in the neighborhood are like, "Who's he gonna pick? Did he give them the D?" And they're like, "I don't know. They're trying real hard." And I'm like, "What? Japanese parents are not like this. Like, this is not.
They're
okay.
trying to break the mold,
don't
okay?
understand.
They're trying to be ingenuitive
God.
and change the way of life in Japan. That's
Life?
That's the point of this manga, is to tell parents to be more supportive of their children's relationship decisions.
I want to know what happened to their real mother. Maybe
She's in prison because she tried to bang her son. That's what I'm going with.
okay. Okay.
Uh-huh. All right, good. Yes.
That's my guess. Prediction.
Can I just say,
next time
all
we
right.
read Kiss X Sis, that's my prediction.
We're gonna read it again. Valentine's Day, perfect. Valentine's Day.
Yeah. Sick.
I was actually gonna say I've actually read a lot of hentai in my life, and I must say this is some of the best written smut I've ever read. Just putting it out there.
I would agree with that.
You know what I find really unsexy that happens in like kind of smutty manga a lot is the spit when two people have been like making out real hard and then they separate their faces and there's just spit connecting their mouths. Like they're so far away and there's just a long line of spit and I'm like, no, I don't find that hot at all.
That happens not just in like makeout sessions. That happens in like Yuri makeout sessions and Yaoi makeout sessions. Like, is that a thing? Do Japanese relationships just rely on like how much spit can connect you once you break apart? Like, is that
I was just
a
about
thing?
to say in hentai manga it's not spit that does that.
It's money shot.
It's the gruel, okay? It's the gruel. We'll just go with that.
But there's just always like a lot of liquid going on, right?
Yeah.
There's like a lot of liquid everywhere. There's sweat, there's jizz, there's saliva. It's like there's too much. There's too much going on.
There's too many
Somebody
orifices
splashed water on somebody.
releasing juice right now.
Yeah,
That is what
it's
I don't
too much,
I
guys.
agree. I
Okay.
don't think that that does nothing for me. Giant, like, tons of saliva is not sexy. That does not. I don't know. No, it's my opinion.
I also don't think that their tongues looked like tongues. Their tongues looked like a small animal trying to escape their mouth.
They look like strawberries.
Mouth was open. They looked like a strawberry. It was just like a little. It was the weirdest thing.
And then they just like suck on my tongue. I'm like, what tongue? There's nothing there.
What?
Oh man.
But yeah, Lou from Sitting by a Window Anime Reviews says we should read Mysterious Girlfriend X if you like spit.
I don't like
I
spit.
don't though.
Yeah,
It's
we
just
don't want
disgusting.
spit. Don't. Everybody, send us your recommendation for manga, a romance manga that don't have spit. Make
Yeah,
that section,
I mean,
please.
look, all levels of sexiness, just no spit.
Yeah,
Can you make that happen?
Number
I don't
6 doesn't have any spit. I'm just saying. Just putting it out there.
Yeah, did that make it on the list?
No,
You're
because
pushing
Jazzy
so hard for that?
keeps vetoing. Screw that. We are ready. Listen.
It's because it was a terrible plot.
Listen. Now that we have read this ecchi where all this happens, we need to read a Shonen Ai series.
Yeah.
Because all sorts of different, and there's a lot of good
boys
ones.
from this.
Yeah.
You know?
Maybe.
And not like a really depressing Kyoriyuki one because I'll cry. I'll be like, everybody died and they loved each other. I don't understand. It'll be really sad.
The Game of
Anyway.
Thrones
Yeah,
manga.
anyway, I just wanted to. The Game of Thrones yaoi.
Oh, George R. R. Martin's just like, I'm gonna make the best yaoi in the world and then kill everybody. And he just laughs in his beard.
Okay,
Both made a
let's
joke.
let's talk about the characters, shall we? Because we talked about them in our spoiler-free recommendations and stuff. This will still involve all the incest and vagina touching and orgasms and stuff, obviously. So,
Right.
like we're all
should.
seeing that they were much more defined as we got into it than we were expecting. I think, especially with the twin sisters, that's what surprised me.
Absolutely.
They had very different personalities, like personality traits that were heavily focused on, and I thought that was really interesting. I also love that the younger one is just super horny all the time.
Yeah. She's just like, get in there. Yeah. I totally agree with that. Because like I was saying at the beginning, I was like, you're the same person. I don't know. I can't tell the difference between you. You act exactly the same. Like there are no defining qualities. And then as it went on, I was like, oh, this one is a far more aggressive personality, like a little bit more deadpan. Like I enjoy that. And then the older sister is actually like the more cutesy one and like, cries more.
Tries to maintain like, oh, what's the right word? Like some sense of normalcy, like tries to tame the other sister, be like, no, you can't do that. Like, that's weird. Even though, like, she still wants her brother's dick. But she's still like, no, that's too far. Kind of a thing. Yeah.
I have to admit, I did like the fact that, like, even in, like, the manga world itself, they also had different roles. Like, the younger one was part of disciplinary, that's not the word, but you get the idea. Committee. That's the one. Committee. And she's very, like, sneaky and spiteful. And I think she's the more fun one. And then the older one's very much like, oh, it's super serious, She's like the chair of... Right, and the chair of the committee and all that kind of stuff, which at the start we didn't really see too much of, as you guys said. And I really do agree. At the start, I don't know if it was the art as well, because I know Rico...
The art improved, for sure.
Yeah, Rico, the younger one, has like the bandage underneath her eye. Mm-hmm. And it was really hard to notice that because, coming from the anime, I know that that's the difference between the two. And in the anime, you can kind of tell the difference between them because it's really easy to tell. Whereas in the manga, it was really hard, especially with the close-up shots.
Their panty-lined vaginas were very hard to distinguish from
They
one
wore
another.
very similar underwear.
Yeah.
Well, they did
Which
say
I
there was
thought
actually a
plot
scene.
detail that
There
was
was a
not taken
scene.
advantage of.
There was a scene where they looked at each other's vaginas and did say, oh, look, because we're twins, even that's the same.
You mean their pubic
Oh, that's
hair?
true.
No, they said vaginas as well.
Oh.
That was the pubic hair part, but they looked at the vaginas as well.
Oh, okay, I missed that part.
Cool. Awesome.
Oh, okay.
What are we doing with our lives?
Talking about
We're discussing teenage girls' pubic
wanting
hair.
to touch their brother's deep.
Can I?
Yeah.
Something I found
Kate-
hilarious.
sorry.
Oh, sorry.
Mm-hmm. No, go for it.
We're so
guys are
polite
terrible.
with one another tonight. Something I found hilarious was the fact that the two girls were completely disgusted at the idea of ever having to kiss each other or touch each other, anything like that. Like they were
Yeah, they were
so
like,
put off.
we'll-
They're like,
We'll do it for him.
like when
But-
the teacher, wasn't there a part with the teacher where he was like, now kiss each other, and they were like, anything but that. Something like that. There was a part where they freaked out about it. I thought it was hilarious.
Yeah, remember that whole scene? With the
Yeah.
teacher being like, I won't tell about any of this stuff if you let me get all up on you. And I was like, gross!
Nasty! I thought that part was actually kind of unnecessary. I don't
Yeah,
know.
it was super
like, it was
unnecessary.
super unnecessary. Like, the other stuff it's gonna sound really weird. The other parts I understand happening. But that part felt just like a straight up, that part felt the most hentai, because there's like straight up creep, like raping.
That is true.
While the
yeah,
guy,
that is
like, there was
that is
no-
a staple.
There was no character development in that. It was completely unnecessary. And then the girls are like completely fine afterwards, where it's this it was making light of this super traumatic thing, and that. But
Yeah.
If there was character development in that, I'd like to refute that point by saying that other girl got more attached to what's his face because of it.
That's true.
that is
She
true.
like she recorded the thing and then was like, "Yay,
Yeah.
I helped
That is
to save you from being raped."
I feel like that
That
could
scene
have
was
been
so weird.
accomplished in a different way, but I do agree that that's true.
Yeah.
But
The
part where he pulled up her underwear.
Yeah, that was super weird. Wait! Oh my god, guys, why aren't we talking about the P chapter?
That's when I texted Daza. That is when I was like, who
There
the
we go.
hell picked this manga? Because I couldn't even focus. I was like, this is so
This is
fucking
amazing.
weird.
This is my favorite thing in the world.
It was like, he's like, just like, oh, I'm just gonna pee in the hallway. He's like, no, you can't do that. And just, for those of you who didn't read it, allow us to set the stage. So, the sisters get drunk. And he comes in and they're like, oh, I have to pee. And the one sister's like, I can't put any effort to stand up and go to the bathroom. So the brother is picking her up and
No, wait. Before he does that, he offers to help one of them. And she's no, it's right. I can crawl. So she
it's
crawls to the bathroom.
That's right.
Right. And then he offers the other one. She's like, okay, carry me.
Yeah.
And then she was like, the one who did crawl says, I could have been the princess. Could have been the princess.
That's right.
So then they go to the bathroom. She couldn't take off her underwear. Don't know why.
She's too drunk.
But
Too drunk.
too drunk to take off her underwear. That apparently that's a thing. I've never seen a girl do that. So he pulls off her underwear. It's like, it's okay. We're siblings. It's okay. Then he's just like, okay. So then she pees, and literally there's like 3 panels of like the toilet bowl and the piss coming down in a very magical way.
and then
It's
he
very
has to
magical.
wipe her.
Yeah, and then she's like, "Wipe me."
Sorry, I didn't let that one build up, but it's ridiculous. It's stupid. You just need to know that he fucking wipes her. He wiped her urine.
And the parents come home right as he's wiping her, and they're like, "Ooh, are you doing stuff in the bathroom? Ooh," and he's like, "No."
Oh my god. Listen, you guys, you can be into whatever you want to be into, but that didn't do it for me.
It was legitimately, that chapter made me legitimately worried to read the rest. I was like, is this gonna go down some fucking weird roads? Because I don't know if I can handle something less than like scat fetish. I don't think I can do
Yeah. Oh.
That's as far as I can go.
No, guys, no, you're free.
No,
Come
guys,
back.
Okay.
Oh, there you are.
I
Okay.
didn't eat up. No, we've gone. Okay.
No, you're here. You're here now.
Okay.
Keep talking
I
about
can hear
pee.
you now.
Keep talking about pee.
All right.
Or were we
All
done
right.
with that?
I have to admit. No, I have to admit. after watching the OVAs, I had no idea because that chapter at all wasn't anything I've ever seen come to this. So when that happened, like I know they get drunk a few times and nearly have sex. Fine, used to that. But I didn't know that was a thing. So I'm reading this being like, oh God, what have I gotten us into?
Yeah.
And I'm just thinking,
God. Sorry.
There were a few parts where I'm just like, I hope no kids are reading this because of us.
Oh, I tweeted multiple times being like, if you are a child of any sort, do not read this. Not safe for work. No.
I just hope there's no.
It was after I read the P chapter too. I was like, no, don't read this.
I just hope there's no like bukkake scene or anything like that. I don't want
There
that.
probably will be.
Well, with Bukake,
Dirty
you need
Sanchez.
to be aware.
That's not Dirty Sanchez.
Uh-huh.
This Eiffel Tower.
Aaron. There can't be an Eiffel Tower because it's only two guys for that.
Strap-ons exist for a reason, guys, and this is it. If there's ever a reason for a strap-on to exist,
there was a
it is
time.
so the one guy can bang his two sisters at the same time.
Okay,
God.
they just have to use that marker again. It'll be all fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
Actually,
Yeah.
that's another chapter. I was just like,
Let's talk about that
what?
chapter. So,
Okay. Because
let's
that
set
was
the
kind of an
stage
Eiffel
that
Tower.
chapter.
Yeah.
It was like
So-
it was more
Nobody
of
else
a
can do
bridge
that.
more than anything. Like the Golden Gate
So in
Bridge.
this scenario, Keita's buddy comes over and leaves his porn in his room? Question mark.
Of course.
Why? Who really knows? So
You don't
Who really
when you have simple
knows?
groups?
That's a recurring thing in manga too, where friends bring porn to other people's houses and then
yeah,
leave
just
it there.
leave it there. Like it was my friends, and it really was their friends. That's
Okay, you guys had never been to like a store or something and left something from the store at your friend's place?
Yeah,
Porn?
porn.
No, I am of the age of the
Maybe it's just me
internet.
then.
Yeah, the internet
You
has
put it on your
plenty.
desktop.
Yeah, you can download it to your phone.
But when
that
you're
shit
young,
behind your friend's
parents have
bed.
sensors.
Anyway, so the girls break into his room like they do,
Yeah.
and look at the porno mags, and they're like, "Is this what Keita's into?" And it's like sister on sister, like one dude banging sisters, like all that sort of stuff that happens to coincide with what we're reading, right? And they're like, "Oh no, does this mean he wants to bang us both at once? Is that what we're gonna have to do?" So then they make a fake Keita, which is like a roll-up towel, was it? With
It was
a bear on
No,
one-
it was his blanket because it smelled like him.
Yeah,
That's right.
It made it more
Blanket.
realistic in there.
Yeah.
with a bear on one side being the head, and then a marker
In
for
the
his
middle.
penis.
In the middle.
And so then the girls positioned themselves, one on the marker and one on the bear, and they both just happened to be like, "Oh my gosh, it feels so good. I can't stop now," which is something that was said multiple times in this manga that always confused me. Like the second that anything touched down there, they were like, "I can't stop." I can't. Like, what? You can't.
It's like a sex button is turned on.
Yes. It's like, how have you lived your life? Like, seriously, are you kidding me? So then they're like grinding on this fake Keita, and they're like, "Let's make out," and then they make out, and then
One time they make out.
yeah, it's the one time. It's the one time that they make out, and then they both sploosh on the fake Keita, and that was that chapter.
Something interesting is that there has not been one guy orgasm. There's been multiple ladies, though. Was there? There wasn't a guy. I didn't think there was any.
Yeah, no, there isn't. What? No.
No, there was
right.
no. Kato never. Gato.
That is that's interesting.
Anything
There's-
but Gator.
There's been lots of. This is progressive in a way.
Yeah.
There's been lots of lady masturbation.
There's
No boy
been-
masturbation.
There's been lots of talk. Like they're not shying away from like oral sex on ladies.
Mm-hmm.
What is that called? Cunnilingus?
Cunnilingus.
Cunnilingus.
It's called cunny.
Oh god, no.
Oh man.
But no, yeah, you're right. It's progressive. Kiss
See,
X
guys,
Sis
guys?
is about female sexuality.
This is why
bloom.
Disney bought Polaris.
For this. Because we are family friendly as fuck.
Yes.
But okay.
Oh my god, new
I-
MangaPod slogan.
Family friendly as fuck.
Family friendly as fuck.
I you just need that picture of I think it was Rico, and she was just like this.
Oh my god. I do have to say though. Oh, sorry. No, go for it. Go for it.
I just want to refute the breast thing. I think actually the use of having only females coming is playing more to the male fantasy, and it's giving more power play to males.
That's true.
So what they have to do is have the girls make Kato come, and thus they're in power. So I reckon that would be more progressive, in my opinion.
Yeah. I guess like the reason that I say it's progressive is because typically like it's all about the dude orgasm and not so much about the lady orgasm, but it's a lot about the lady orgasm in this one.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Which I'm surprised.
It's a lot. Yeah, exactly.
Wait. In the like second to last chapter, I was laughing so hard because they're like making out and she's like, oh, just from this kiss, I might.
Yeah.
And then she's like,
and then she splooshes everywhere.
I jizzed. Yeah, she's like, from that kiss I jizzed. Guess I'm done for the day. See ya. And he's like, what?
Look, literally, it was like a waterfall of something out of her vagina. I'm just like, I've never had that happen to me before. He must be a damn good kid. So
like,
I'm just saying.
Oh
my gosh.
Like, legit, how do they live their lives? Like, how do they live their lives without just like being turned on all day? I don't understand.
You froze then, all I heard.
Just like,
just constant
you froze then, and all I heard.
Orgasms.
Dazza.
What, Dazza?
You froze, and all I heard was they live their life for jizz, and I'm just like, okay then.
They do. That's also true. Anyway, Aaron, you were going to get us on topic somehow.
I was just gonna say, let's talk about the chapter at the hot springs.
Why did he go? I don't understand.
Because he can't say no. Kato has no backbone, guys. Okay, he has some kind of bone half the time, but it is not a backbone. So, what? There has been multiple times where he's just like, well, I guess I have no choice in the matter. Like, later on, when they introduce that, like, cute little kawaii Genki girl, and they're fighting over whatever, like, parts of Kato they get, and he, like, oh, the girl gets Kato lifting up her skirt, and Kato, his exact quote is, well, I guess I don't really have a choice in the matter, and then he picks up her skirt. I was like, motherfucker, you always got a choice. You don't have to pick up that girl's skirt just because all these girls are sitting there wanting. I was just like, what? But Hot Springs chapter, yeah, why did he go?
Oh no.
Okay, maybe Kato subconsciously really wants to get with them, and that's why when he's drunk, he seems to do them a lot.
Oh, he totally wants. He's talked about that. Like he starts.
He wants the V. He really wants the V.
He wants double V. Mm-hmm. He wants a W.
He wants a W. Yep.
But no, and that I don't even know. I'm just thinking about the dick lollipop. That's what I think of.
That was really funny. That was pretty amazing. The taxi driver was just like, all right, I'll take you somewhere nice, and it's a sex museum.
I'll take you somewhere fun.
And then he just leaves them at a sex store. The adults in this manga are very irresponsible.
I agree with that.
Except the teacher. The teacher has some sort of morals.
No, I get the feeling she's going to be irresponsible later when she's like, oh, for some reason I want your D. I want your D so bad, but it's so wrong.
I'm going to be a rotten bacon butt right now and say I read the first page of the next chapter, and no joke, she's just thinking about him, and I was just like, that would be nice.
No, you dumb teacher. God damn it. Everybody. Why does everybody want his D? It's the fucking like harem trope where like everybody wants the D of the dude who has no backbone and no personality. And I'm just like, stop it.
Yeah.
And yes, when it helps the story somehow, he manages to like punch a dude, maybe. You know, like it's so inconsistent. I don't understand. The girls are written so much better than him, which I think is common.
Yeah.
But
it's totally common in harem. As you were talking, I had a thought. What would your guys... So, let's say every single scenario that happens, but the genders are all switched. How would that change people's opinions on this manga? Like, would it be... You froze and really thoughtful...
That would be...
Oh, God, you're freezing. Both of you frozen.
Aaron was just frozen like this.
Yeah, that's exactly what it would be.
You guys were frozen for me, like you were just thinking about my question.
I would think there would be a lot of terms thrown around, such as domestic violence and assault and rape.
Yep.
I think. Just saying.
That's what I thought, but I just wanted to say.
Yeah.
It's interesting. Isn't it interesting?
Although, I mean, we have lots of manga along those lines, like Diabolic Lovers, for example. There's plenty of manga and anime that is along the lines of like men wanting you so badly they can't stop touching you. And it's just like stop.
Nisekoi. I messed that up.
No, Hatsukoi.
Crossover.
Definitely.
Even though it's a yaoi, isn't it?
Yeah, but it has the same thing. It's not a harem, but it has the same idea of like abusive power. I guess.
It wants to sit bad.
Is it funny that when we think of girls doing it? Is it funny that when we think of girls doing it to guys, we're like, oh wow, that's really cute, or something like that. But when guys do it to girls, it's very much like, he's assaulting her. That's terrible.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's like, it's just society's perspective on that is very interesting.
But it's also, I would say in both cases, it's meant to satisfy like a very specific fetish, you know?
Oh, yeah.
And it's kind of like, I mean, yeah, in either situation, this can be taken as very shallow and offensive and awful, regardless of which genders are which. But, you know, again, like, it's just to fulfill a need of somebody who's like, I would be into this. And then you find it and you're like, sick.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just kick back and watch this, you know?
Yeah.
So, but I think you're right. I think that if everything was switched and the layman, like, let's consider ourselves the layman right now, and the layman were to read it and be like, this is a little creepy, this is a little weird.
Yeah.
This is kind of a creepy manga.
Dad, are you calling someone?
What was that?
What was that?
I don't know what you're talking about.
You do not want to accidentally add somebody to a call that has no idea what we're talking about.
I accidentally pressed 0 and I pressed it 3 times. That over here is our emergency number.
Oh my God.
Oopsies.
So I was like, shit, I'm ringing the cops.
I bet babies accidentally call the cops all the time there.
Yeah. Just...
I don't know, actually.
I feel like, because ours is 911, like, having them that separated from each other makes it a little less likely. But if it's just 000, they're just like, cops.
Yeah.
Right?
We should research
I don't know.
sometime.
I'll contact the university and see if I can get a research study done.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Case studies. Case studies of babies that down 000.
Back onto incest.
Back onto the incest. From babies to incest. MangaPod.
MangaPod. Family friendly as fuck.
Family friendly as fuck. It's the best thing.
We need that on a t-shirt.
Hang on.
We need that on a
I need to
t-shirt.
quote that. Or by that,
Someone
I
already
tweet
quoted
that.
it for
I
you.
need to tweet
Someone
that.
already did for you.
Oh, okay.
Really?
What is it?
Where was it? It was here somewhere.
This is a very Disney appropriate MangaPod.
Oh my God, there are so many people tweeting quotes at me.
Oh.
What?
Oh.
Somebody just tweeted something at me that's they were rotten bacon butt, so I'm not gonna read it. But it made me upset. It's about the future of this manga, and I was like, no.
Oh no. Hang on, I'm
Anyways.
just gonna retweet all of these people that I've quoted and give no context, so that all my other followers are gonna be like.
I love it.
Uh,
Oh man.
Anyway.
So what sex scene have we not talked? Okay, I have one.
What?
Hang on. You're finished tweeting.
I mean, we haven't talked about Santa nipples yet.
Oh, that's right. Santa
what?
nipples.
Santa nipples
Santa-
was that was the first time that he got drunk, right?
Yes.
at the karaoke bar.
At the karaoke bar, yeah. And the one sister passed out, and the other sister was like,
I like
and he
how
was
he's
all
like
up
molesting
at
her.
her nipples.
I like how he's they say it's molesting, but she's really enjoying it.
Oh yeah, no, that's not molesting. She was full on about that, or molesting the boy.
I think that it's like a little. Those scenes were a little weird for me because I was like, he's drunk and does not remember this. Like the fact that every time he's like, don't remember anything. I'm like, that's creepy and weird.
I'm like, how bad of a drunk are you that you forget that stuff?
Yeah.
Right.
Well, see, the thing is, I don't know about you guys, but when I got drunk, when I get drunk, I still remember what I do the next day because I'm able to. But when you get older, you forget because apparently when you get drunk and you black out and you don't remember anything, it's actually not that you don't remember, it's that the brain doesn't record you doing it. So it's like the hard drive of your brain doesn't record you actually doing the things when you're drunk.
I think I would be terrified if I ever blacked out. I've never blacked out, thank God.
I blacked out once, but it was in a nice, safe environment.
Safe environment.
Can't say what it did was great, but it was a safe
MangaPod
environment.
live stream 2013.
Oh, yeah. New Year's Eve.
Yeah. But when you're younger, your brain can remember stuff much easier. That's why you remember so much stuff from when you're younger. When you're older, so I'm not sure what he's done going up to the age of 15 that he'll forget when he's drunk
He's like
like
fucked
that.
up his memory so bad. So weird. Yeah, that whole trope, I was like, nah, that's gonna get old real quick. Like, just, they were drunk, so it allows, like, sexy stuff to happen, and then him being like, I don't know what I did, and everybody being like, no, you touched my nips. Oh, God. That was the first, I think wasn't that the first, like, sexy stuff that happened, though?
That was the first hardcore.
That was the first naked sexy stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because before
I
it
can
had
also
just
say,
been, like, makeouts,
those girls don't
Yeah.
have nipples. Those girls do not have nipples.
Guys never have nipples in anime or manga, though.
He has nipples. We can see the nipples. We saw the nipples. They were licking them. Remember?
Oh, that's
But the
right, when they
girls-
were licking off his sweat.
Yeah,
But the
apparently
girls
that's
don't
the
do
thing. More liquid involved.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Guys, if you have not read this manga, just know that if somebody is sick, if you lick all of their sweat off of them, they get better.
Yeah. You'll get sick, but they'll get better.
Tips.
Mm-hmm.
See, it's
IRL.
funny because it is said when you're sick, like with a cold or something, if you're doing lots of physical activity, sex, you actually get better a lot quicker.
Well, that's true.
And that's where I was thinking that chapter was going, but then they start licking and I'm just like, I'm actually disappointed.
What is this?
Like literally, he was sitting there laying on the bed. They could have had their way with him, and he couldn't move.
Mm-hmm.
And they passed up an opportune moment.
To rape him?
Yes.
Yep.
But I also
God.
reiterate my point. The girls don't have nipples, and that's weird.
But they can still be twisted.
Yep.
It's like just twisting the skin on the nipples.
Considering all the detail that goes into seeing some of the vagina through the panties,
They do it
and
very
yet
well.
there are no nipples. There's a lot of panty detail, you guys. And for anybody who's watching this that really hates the word panty, I'm just going to keep saying it over and over again. The panty detail is fantastic.
The moist panty detail.
The moist, legitimately, the moist panty detail is like A+.
Mwah.
Mwah.
All right, why don't we talk about the other girl, the glasses girl?
I was just gonna bring her up.
I like her.
I like her a lot. I was gonna bring up a scene with her that literally made me drop my phone and be like, what? The scene where they're in the changing room and Kato is like, oh, sorry, and then he hits the shoe boxes and the shoe boxes fall over and he trips and like pulls down the curtain and lands on top of them. Did you notice that his hand went up the older sister's skirt? And like, I was like, how did that happen?
Yeah.
Like I said, he subconsciously wants to be.
Up
It's
her
on the
skirt.
other one's boob.
And then his
face is in, yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
There's a lot.
ideal situation for any person, I guess. But how did
And
your
then we
hand
met
get
the
there?
teacher.
It's not the first time his hand.
Oh, yeah,
there as
his
well.
hand
But the
comes up in vaginas a lot accidentally.
I must say, as a male that was 15, my hand never ended up in vaginas.
Mine did all the time.
Sadly,
Yeah.
I don't want to know what you did.
I realized
Well, Aaron, that's a bit interesting. Go on.
Yes.
I was speaking as if I was a 15-year-old male, and then after I said it, I was like, I'm not a man, and that sounded really bad.
It's amazing. Anyway.
But no, the glasses girl. What character?
I feel so bad for her. At the same, like, I want her to stick around because I think that she's like Kato's only chance for a normal girlfriend.
Yes.
But I feel bad for her because she's being pulled into this not normal world of all of these really messed up people, and she's just like, please stop. No, I don't like this.
I like how her favorite. I like how one of the lines was just like, ever since I met you, my life's gotten very weird.
Yeah.
Understandable.
And that scene where they're all in the bathroom and they just splash water at each other, I'm just like, this scene is not needed, but I absolutely love it for some reason.
Some reason.
For some reason.
And they're all just like, oh, I need to borrow your clothes. And then randomly she's got, like, the teacher's got one of the students' clothes and wearing them. And I'm just like, if anyone saw this, she would be fired immediately.
Wait, what? I do not remember. Oh, everybody's frozen. Dodger's frozen. There you go, you're back.
They're all back. Okay. Don't you remember when she was standing up and she had like the name tag and she was wearing the sports clothes of Kato?
No, that wasn't what we read. I don't think.
What?
Yeah.
The teacher?
Yeah, I'll get it up for you.
Okay.
If I remember.
Yeah, because
It just means I have to go back through it. That's so depressing.
I do not remember that. Nobody better be tweeting that vagina line.
Aaron, they're all retweeting it. Oh no, this is when she's thinking about him and wants to have sex with him. Okay, no, but this is where she's thinking about stopping it. The water scene. It was in the last chapter that we read. Oh,
What?
I read chapter 25. Oh, I read a bit more than what you guys did. Okay.
I was gonna say.
I was like, that was not in my memory.
Okay.
Spoilers! Get out, rotten bacon butt!
Anyway. Should we talk about art?
Yeah, let's hit on art so then we can start wrapping up. As much as I don't.
Hit on art.
Let's hit on the art.
Sorry, Eric.
No, you go.
I thought, like we've established at the beginning, the art was not specific enough to be able to tell who was who or really like big differences between especially the two sisters. The art was just kind of like mediocre for me, but then as it went on, more sense.
Sorry.
What, Dazza?
What?
Oh, I just got a tweet. This is out of context. I'll get it up for you at Dr. Dazza to at Happily Aaron.
That's why I laughed. So that's why I went. Yeah.
That was not supposed to be innuendo at all.
But anyway,
He's
the art
best.
by the
I
point
miss
that
Yoku.
we read,
I'm so sad he's missing this.
I know. But by the end of what we read, I thought that the art was really clean. Yeah, it was.
It was. I thought it was quite dirty, honestly, but still.
Anyway, that's my feelings on the art. What about you guys?
I actually have to agree with you. From the start, it was just like, really, I can't really tell what's going on here. I can just see vaginas and panties. That's what I'm looking for still. I actually was quite pleased when it got to the, especially when it got into high school. I don't know if you read that far ahead, I don't know. But when he got up to there, it actually looked quite nice, and there was a lot of different characters, I thought. And he kind of
He was in high school in what we read.
Yeah, but I thought once we got up to like that part, it was very distinguished, and the art was very nice. And for, like I've said, for smut, it's probably one of the best produced smut I've ever read. So, at the end, I mean, it's like any sort of manga starting up, I think. We've had like this consistently, it's not been great when it started, but it's consistently gotten better. You know, so I think for this, I would say it's the same thing.
Yeah.
And I'm retweeting that because that's funny.
Go for it, Aaron.
This isn't on art, but somebody raised a really interesting question in chat that I just kind of wanted to touch on.
Touching.
Lathiasis said, does it matter to you all that they're not actually blood related? What are your thoughts?
A lot of people brought that up as like, it's not gross, guys. They're not related. They're stepbrother and sister.
Okay, I don't know about you guys, but I have this, I have a friend who I've grown up with since I was about 3, right? Like, and she's a girl, obviously. She's not a guy-girl thing.
Guy-girl thing.
I couldn't imagine doing anything with her because that's just weird.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
I know in psychology, there's this thing about when you're growing up with a brother and sister, or like that kind of relationship, they have a different bond than a sexual relationship that you form when you're older. And that's why when, I know this is going to sound really weird, but when you get a brother and sister that meet later in life, if they've been separated, normally they have this weird attraction to each other, which they don't really understand. And that's supposed to be the thing that they were supposed to form as they grow up. And to not, like, because it's supposed to say, oh, you guys are, like, the same genes. You're not supposed to do stuff together. It's kind of like that. But because they come later, they will come later, if that makes sense. So, growing up with a girl, a friend of mine, I wouldn't think of doing anything with her because I've got that bond with her.
Yeah,
But
I think that
girlfriend,
like,
That's open game.
yeah, it's like whatever. But like, yeah, I think not. It's very strange to me trying to, like, what am I trying to say? Like, the idea of this happening with both sisters seems impossible to me. Like, the idea of all of these kids growing up together and all of them being like sexually attracted to each other seems so impossible to me. Like, are you kidding me? Because like I've been in the same situation as what Dazzo was saying. Like, I've had a really close guy friend like my entire life, and I could never ever imagine like doing anything with, because he is like a brother to me, you know. And like, I don't know. It seems so strange to me, like the idea of that even possibly happening. And I know that you were supposed to like suspend your imagination a bit, but but I guess like if the question is whether or not it's wrong,
Yeah.
it's legally wrong, right? Like they couldn't legally get married, could they?
Well, actually,
but
it depends on the laws, because I know in Japan they can, and it's perfectly legal.
Really?
Over here,
What?
it's actually
That blows
legal
my
too.
mind.
for step siblings to get married?
Yeah, because they're not blood related, so there's nothing really wrong there.
Because most of those
like
laws,
nothing biologically wrong.
Most of those laws are to prevent like inbred children.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
So
I don't
that
know
brings
how
up
it
the
is.
question: if like those laws didn't exist, like would like it becomes? I think it becomes like people's like a moral thing, like depending on what you've experienced in life and what your ideas are. Because I don't know, like I didn't have like an opposite sex or just like a sex friend, a sex friend, a friend who I grew up with. So me personally, like it's not that I mean I could never imagine if I did have a stepsister or a stepbrother or anything like ever feeling that way, but also I have an experience. And so me personally, it's one of those things where I'm like, if they're both, I think it's more of an adult thing. If they're both consenting adults, for me, I'm like, I don't necessarily think it's wrong. I think it's something that, because they're two consenting adults, they should be allowed to do that without necessarily feeling shame for it. It's very like, it's a lot more of like society, I think, puts a lot of pressure on it. And that's how it is with a lot of stuff when it comes to sex or like relationships. Like there's
for sure
so much like stigma that comes along with a lot of things. And I think it's a lot of fear and not understanding what it is. And so it's just a very interesting thing. And I think it's also foreign because it doesn't happen a lot and people themselves can't imagine that happening to them. And so to put themselves in just a hard, especially like, I mean, for me, if I'm thinking about my life, like, oh, no, never, ever, no, don't even want to think about that. But maybe there's somebody out there that like doesn't feel that way. But yeah, I totally understand what you guys are saying too. So it's a really interesting concept to see, like you were saying about, is it wrong? Like, or is it one of those things like you can't necessarily like if they're actually in love with each other, it's the same like idea of can they help it? Like, could they? What? It's like it's a very gray area. It's a very gray area.
I guess. I guess I would take the stance of it's not that it's wrong. It's just that I don't understand the possibility of it happening. Like that's just hard for me to imagine.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah. I'm much the same boat of saying that if they want to go for it and they want to have all the sex they want, they can go for it. You know, they're people like sex, and sex in the same house is really quite easy sometimes. So just go for it.
And I mean, the parents are totally into it.
Yeah.
So no, not in this scenario, man. His parents are like, could you just put it in?
Just weird. One of them. Just pick one of them.
Just one or both.
It doesn't
I don't
matter.
know. Put it in.
Just use it.
So I'm all for that. But from, like I said, from a psychological standpoint, I learned this back in high school. It just doesn't seem like it's a thing that could happen quite often. I could be wrong, and brothers and sisters could be having sex all over the world. I don't have a brother and sister, so I don't know. But yeah, that's, if they want to have sex, then they can go for it. The one thing that I do want to say is that he's 15 and they're 16.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's illegal
they
in parts of the world.
Very young. Yeah. Yeah, that's what, like, with this, when it comes to this, it's, I think one of the reasons it skews, like, makes me, like, really uncomfortable is because of their age. Like, I understand that.
So young.
Yeah, like, I understand. That's why I was saying, like, if they're consenting adults, I think it's a little bit different, like, when they're 18 or stuff. But, like, this is, like, puberty, hormones gone crazy, like, what is actually going on there? It's interesting. It's an interesting idea, concept.
But that also does make me appreciate the fact that it hasn't been a romance story at all, really. It's just been like, I want it, you know?
Like they say, I'm so in love with you. Like, I love you too. Like, they had that dramatic scene on the rooftop with the older sister getting really upset. And that felt like a little bit more romance shoujo. Definitely. That was a scene that happens in shoujo and, like, all of the romance that happens in that kind of a scene. And so
Yeah.
that was like, it's weird that that kind of made me uncomfortable because it goes into that love, the like love part, like what is actually going on, like you were saying.
Yeah.
So yeah, went from art to a very deep discussion.
Yeah, a bunch of people are like, well, we were talking about boobies, and now we're talking about morals, so that's fun.
Did everybody say what they had to say on the art? Because we'll wrap up, give final thoughts and ratings, and then... Okay.
Yeah.
I think before we go into final thoughts and ratings, just a question for you guys from Panama Punk. If you were the MC, which sister would you actually choose?
I would choose the younger sister.
I would say younger. No.
Is there any reason because of that?
I don't know. I think she, and maybe this is like to get rid of the feeling of them being like super young, but I think she's far more like take charge. She acts like more of an adult.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that out of
this
the
is
two,
what
she would be
talk about
sexier.
incest.
Yeah.
The police come.
I know. It's the Nidhogs.
See, I'd probably choose the younger one just because she's not as shy. She's a bit more forefront when it comes to those kind of things. In my opinion, I prefer a girl who was a lot more, not forceful. What's the word? Proactive.
Proactive.
Aggressive.
Yeah.
Yeah, aggressive. That's a good one. I mean, shy and like personality, in, like public, fine, but bedroom, proactive.
Kohai.
In the
What is
bedroom.
it?
About it.
Kohai in the streets, senpai in the sheets.
Oh yeah.
Kawaii in the streets, senpai in the sheets.
I don't know.
I love that.
I'm torn. I like you said, I don't know. I feel like necessarily for me, I don't want to say anything oversharing again.
Overshare. I've been oversharing all day. Just do it.
Accidentally overshare. I don't know. It makes me more comfortable when it's somebody who is not as proactive, I think, is for me. So I would pick the older one. Just based on personal choice. Personal feels. But both of them, I think, would be great. Threesome.
Yeah, you know. I also,
Well,
I don't know. I think I just like the character of the younger one better too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was sort of like, that's why I was torn, is because I like the character of the younger one much better, but if we're gonna do whatever, that thing, but that's why threesome.
If you're gonna be like touching vajayjays,
Then I
Touch
gotta
'em
pick the
That's
JJ
fair.
that'll bring me comfort, you know.
Picking the JJ that makes me comfort.
Shall we give our final thoughts and ratings?
Yeah.
Everybody?
Who wants to go
Come,
first?
we'll start with Yoku's first, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Does somebody have it up?
Yoku
I
gave
remember.
this a 14 out of 10.
Yes.
No. Was it a 14? No, it was a 16 out of 10.
It was 16.
Oh, did he up it?
Oh my god, he upped it. It was 14 out of 10 back here. Yeah, I'm 10 chapters in. It's already 14 out of 10. And then by here, 16 out of 10. Best manga ever in all caps. Man. All right, so Yoku. Yoku
thought
gave
it
this a
was-
16 out of 10.
He
Best manga ever.
Remembering Yoku's type or autocorrect, and it just made me think of family friendly as duck.
That's right. What the duck?
He's like ducking hell.
Oh, it was great.
That was amazing. Yeah, so there's Yoku's opinions. It's, you know what? I am going to give it a solid 7 out of 10 because I thought I lost my train of thought. I was gonna say, because I was thoroughly impressed with how defined the characters were, and I did, like, as ridiculous as I found the story and the situations that I got in, I still enjoyed part of it, like found it entertaining. I found it entertaining in a lot of ways, and so maybe a 6 out of 10. Maybe I'll give it a 6 out of 10. Between a 6 and a 7 out of 10.
So a flaccid 7?
A flaccid 7, yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Flaccid 7.
So, or should we? Never mind.
It's too late, Aaron.
I was gonna say, on a scale of marker to dick lollipop, what do you give it?
Give this a hard dick lollipop.
I give it I'm gonna have to say teddy bear nose. A teddy bear nose out of dick lollipop.
Okay.
Fair enough.
Because the art was also very good, and I definitely think it got better. And like, I thought it started getting more interesting later on, but I think the flaws that I had with it were a lot of unnecessary stuff that definitely took me out of it. That just felt really didn't need to be in there. So I'm gonna give it a teddy bear out of dick lollipop.
Teddy bear nose.
I will give it a extra long saliva string out of 10.
Oh, good.
Yeah. I agree with Aaron. It got more interesting to read the later that we got into it, but there was just so much stuff where I was like, why is this happening? I don't understand. This is not necessary. And it was entirely like sections that were like, all right, get ready to masturbate. It's just like that's all it was there for. And I really did not like the main character, but I did enjoy pretty much all of the girls. I liked all of their characters.
Yeah.
And it was I'm glad we read this, if only because I feel like we've broken the seal.
Yeah.
And now like we have to read like kind of sexy manga every now and then.
Yeah.
Because otherwise we have nothing to compare it with. So
I agree with that.
I'm glad that we broke this seal.
Yeah. I agree too.
We broke something, but definitely, I suppose it was a seal if you call it that. Anyway.
Yeah, Dazza.
I like how you two are just like, no, Dazza. All right. I don't know what to say. I enjoyed reading this manga for the pure fact that it was entertaining listening to you two about it. Especially during the week, it was just like all these text messages, all these like tweets, just being like, and I'm just sitting here in my chair, being like, this is great. But as I was reading it this morning, because I was going to read at uni, because just like Aaron's schedule, my schedule was on Tuesdays, because it's Wednesday at the moment here, if you guys didn't know. On Tuesdays, I go when I go to uni, I've got like lots of breaks, so I read manga during those breaks or during lectures that are very boring, most of them. And I couldn't read it there. That was quite sad. So I got all this morning, and let's just say reading 25 chapters at 9 o'clock in the morning really gets you up.
I was gonna say. I was gonna say.
My critical score, I think,
Dazza?
like I said, it's probably some of the best read smut I've ever read. There's some Yuri out there from Madoka, which I thought was a lot better.
There's a lot of really good doujinshis that have pretty great.
Yeah, doujinshi, yaoi stuff. Yuri, not yaoi.
No!
Yaoi.
Everybody tweet!
I don't read much
Dr.
yaoi.
Dazza 2014.
But I would give it probably a solid. What would it be? A solid drunk molestation out of Dick Lollipop.
Okay, cool.
None of us said
Yep.
Sitting by the Window anime reviews gave it a pee wipe out of Dick Lollipop.
That's
Which
good,
is
yeah.
awesome.
I also think it's on the verge of waterfall sploosh out of Dick Lollipop.
There's also
Yeah, I gave it an orgasm kiss out of Dick Lollipop. Oh god. There's just so many good options to choose from. I gave it a good sweat lick out of Dick
I was
Lollipop.
gonna say I gave it a good sweaty nipple lick. I gave it a Santa karaoke nipple twist out of Dick Lollipop. There you go.
Oh, jeez.
Can you guys
There it
say
is.
that you recommend reading the manga? Did we ever say that?
Like I said, if you want a hentai, that's not a hentai. But it's like you don't want the full sex. You just want the
You want the
stuff
T's?
before.
You want the DTs?
The DVTs.
And you're into scat. If you're into P play.
Yeah.
There's
Golden
there's at least
showers.
one chapter.
Apparently it comes back. Rotten bacon butts. Rotten bacon butts. Somebody tweeted it at me and I was like, no.
I don't want it. So there you go. There is our discussion on Kiss X Sis for April Fool's Day. Hope you guys like
We
it.
weren't fully
Yes,
there.
this is
We
a
weren't
real
fully...
manga.
This is a real manga. We didn't just make all this up the entire
There's
time.
actually proper anime series and everything.
Yeah. So you should go check that out. Report back. Let us know, because I'll never watch it.
I should just make a review on it. Just
That would be amazing.
it could be worse. To be fair though, it could be worse.
No, that's true. Like, it could... I was expecting a lot worse than what happened.
You know.
Like, a lot worse.
Especially after the pee shower, it was just like,
Yeah.
After the
But-
P chapter, I was like, I don't know, guys.
Yeah, that's...
They're gonna be
But
on each other. I don't know.
I think the weirdest thing after the pee chapter was the waterfall sploosh, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Well, waterfall
Thanks for watching MangaPod, everybody.
We're family friendly as fuck.
Family friendly.
waterfall
as fuck.
splooshes.
Okay.
That'll always be what we call it when it's a not safe for work MangaPod. Family friendly as fuck.
FFF.
Yep.
Okay, so let's talk about what we are reading next week. You guys in the chat are going to give us your guesses. Dr. Dazzle, will you read our description, please?
Okay.
I mean,
See if
I
I got
can
any
read it.
tro-
I have my glasses on.
No, let's go. Jonathan Joestar, a young wealthy son living in Victorian England, has his life destroyed by a recently orphaned Dio Brando, who was taken by Jonathan's father. Dio, who plots to drive Jonathan to insanity and inherit the Joestar fortune, becomes an unstoppable vampire that Jonathan must fight.
I am so
This
excited.
manga
Guess
pod
what it
is
is?
going to be fabulous. Fabulous.
It's gonna be very fabulous.
It's gonna be so great, and we are going to have a special guest on us with it.
Is
That's
it
if he gets out of
Octopimp?
hospital.
Yeah, I'm seeing his tweets. Everybody go tweet at the real Octopimp, because he is apparently in the hospital.
Oh no.
Yeah, go tweet that.
Everybody
MangaPod loves
got
him.
it. It's JoJo.
Yeah.
Everybody's getting it. JoJo.
Yay! JoJo's queer. I'm so excited.
It's gonna be quite bizarre.
Oh, it's also gonna be an adventure.
Okay, I have to ask you guys. Should I want to really want to watch the anime before the second season, so I caught up. But do you think I should just wait and read the manga first?
The anime is awesome. I haven't read any of the manga, but the anime is amazing.
The anime was so great.
So good.
The manga, I'm expecting I haven't looked, but I'm expecting the art of the manga to be like very old looking because it's like 25 years old.
It's older, yeah. I'm not sure how old it is though.
So the anime like takes kind of an old style but makes it look really clean and new. And I am a little bit worried that after watching the anime, it's going to be hard to read the manga because I'm going to be like, oh man, the art is just like not as crisp, you know?
Yeah, it started in 1986, so it's definitely older.
Before I was born.
Before I was born too.
Before any of us were
Any of
born.
us.
It must be old if it's before.
I was -1. I was -1 at the time.
-3.
-7.
Yeah. So yeah, we are reading, and so we're reading JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. We are reading, I just had it pulled up. I accidentally went away from it to look up when JoJo's came out. We are reading volumes 1 through 5, chapters 1 through 44. And we're going to have our special guest, Octopimp, who was very adamant about coming on because it is his favorite manga anime ever. He loves it.
Yeah,
and so we are super him come on with us next week.
Yeah, we kind of were like, we don't want you here, but he was just like, no, I'm coming, guys.
Yeah, we're
I'm
like,
definitely.
And the reason we are reading it next week is because the anime is premiering. The 3rd season of the anime is coming out. Did Crunchyroll... Okay, so Crunchyroll announced today that they got the first 2 seasons of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Was that an April Fool's Day joke, or was that legit?
I think it was legit.
Yeah.
It sounds pretty legit.
It sounded pretty legit. Like, I don't think Crunchyroll would joke about that. It's very serious.
I think... it's like, guys, it's Crunchyroll. Come on. Just also to let you guys know, if you've seen the anime, we are reading part 1. So this isn't part 2, part 3. We're just reading the full part 1. So
no
whatever that
spoilers
means.
about that.
Yeah.
There. Rotten bacon butts.
No rotten bacon butts.
Rotten bacon butts. Yeah, so, okay. Let's shout out our stuff. Super fast. I am Aaron of Happily Aaron, the channel you are currently on. 402 people are watching right now. That used to be my old zip code phone number. My phone anyway.
Great.
I am Aaron of Happily Aaron, the channel you're on right now. I do anime reviews, anime first impressions of anime that come out on whatever season, and also I recently put up a spring anime preview about 8 of the anime that I am really excited about that are going to be coming up in the next few weeks. I also have a Kuroko no Basket final season impression coming up this weekend probably. I did Kuroko no Basket episode reviews if you ever are watching the series and want to go back and check those out. Now, the season 2 has ended.
Last episode was so good.
Sobbing all over myself. Season 2.
I was like, when's the next episode?
I know. So sad. I also do mental health awareness stuff and all of the previous manga posted here on my channel, so you can definitely go check that out there in a playlist. If you'd like to find any other social media site, I am Happily Aaron everywhere. I use Twitter, Tumblr, and Instagram and Hummingbird the most often. So if you want to go and tweet me about Kuroko or whatever, I sometimes tweet really weird stuff, so please don't unfollow me because sometimes I tweet normal things. I promise.
Sometimes tweet weird stuff.
I never tweet normal stuff.
I don't either. I'm just trying to get them to care. So that's my that's me.
I'm Dodger. I have 2 channels. youtube.com/presshearttocontinue where I do gaming stuff. It's been mostly Love Sims lately. I do mostly Love Sims and then a news show on Saturdays, so there's that. And then youtube.com/dexteritybonus, which is my vlog channel where every day I sit with a cup of coffee and talk about my cats and food and TV shows and really whatever comes to my mind. On all of the social medias, I'm at Dexbonus, DEXBONUS, so come hang out. And I won't ever say normal stuff. It's like mostly all caps gibberish. It's really bad. But
Gotcha.
I hope
You're out
I'll
of
give you a
focus.
chance.
Oh, you are out of focus.
Oh, again.
You're out of focus.
Hey.
Go.
There we go.
Yeah, there you are. There's your pretty face.
Yeah.
Dazzle.
Hi, I'm the Dr. Dazzle. I have 2 channels as well. One is Fine for Nippon, where I do anime videos. I do first impressions, top 10s, top 5s, reviews. I do fake announcements for TV shows for April Fools. That was
amazing.
Fun. I got 4 death threats from that. It was so good.
Oh, what?
Like
you
4 like
serial?
proper like email essay death threats, being like, dude, you don't joke about that. You don't joke about Attack on Titan. And I'm just like,
What?
Dude, get over it. I'm going to make a video about it as well with all the funny stuff that people's posted to me. So look forward to that. I also have a show called What We've Watched where we talk about what we've been watching in anime this week. I've had special guests like Aaron and Dodger here, as well as Yoku, and you guys can join in too. All you have to do is send me a video response. All the messages and stuff are in the other videos that I've done. Find that on Fine Flip on. I also have another channel called Dazza, which is again going to be starting out real soon. I'm so sorry, guys. I love you. Please don't hate me that I haven't started it yet, but it'll be starting very soon. Okay, don't worry about it. It'll be starting very soon, and it'll be very exciting. On Twitter, you can find me at Dazza, where I tweet about things.
Yeah, you do.
Like me
yaoi.
at uni.
Like yaoi. All your favorite
yeah.
yaoi OTPs.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Like,
all them doujins.
Kagami,
reading.
Kagami X
Kuroko-
Midorima.
Kuroko X
Kagami X
Kisei.
Midorima.
Kagami Midorima.
I don't understand that ship very much.
I don't understand it either.
There's a few
when
ships.
did that happen?
There's a few ships in the Kuroko no Basket fandom I don't understand, but that happens in every fandom.
Yeah.
That's true.
So yeah, I tweet a lot about things. I also have a second Twitter account now called Flying for Nippon News, or at FFN Anime News, where I post anime news and stuff like that. Not like videos of anime news, but just consistent anime news that I see throughout the day, which I think are interesting. It's actually really cool. Like, I just retweet and people are like, oh my gosh, I didn't know about that. And if I find any anime news, I'll put it on there. Just so I'm not spamming you guys, because, yeah. I also have Tumblr, which is Dazza. Hummingbird's Dazza. What else am I on? Instagram, Dazza.
Yeah!
Yeah.
If you're wondering where Lovely Yoku is, like we said, he couldn't make it tonight, but we're still going to shout out his stuff. He is Yokorama Game Talk, where he doesn't talk about video games. He does a bunch of anime reviews and anime first impressions and all sort of wonderful stuff. And he also has Yokorama News, where he doesn't talk about news, but he gives you videos of his final impressions on all sorts of series. He watches a ton of anime, so he gave a crap ton of final impressions on there. So go ahead and check out Yokorama News and Yokorama Game Talk. If you want to find him on any social media, on Instagram, he's Yokorama. On Twitter, he's Yokorama Talks, Tumblr Yokorama, and Hummingbird Yokorama. If you want to find any of our links, it is all in the doobly ding-a-ding-a-ding right down there. You can go ahead and just click it and find us.
Yeah.
And also, you can check out our MangaPod subreddit, where you can find the schedule for upcoming weeks, as well as a recommendation thread and all sorts of fancy things that our wonderful fans post on there. Feel free to post.
Yeah, don't be scared. Like, you guys can post whatever you want, as long as it's kind of relevant to MangaPod.
Yeah.
So, like, some guy posted that he got the Pokemon Adventures manga,
which was
because of
great.
MangaPod, and I'm just like, yeah. He got the same pack I have. It's over there. I'm really proud of him.
Aww,
awesome.
That's so awesome. I love
cried
it
a little
when people get into manga because of MangaPod. It's so cute.
Yeah,
It makes us happy. It
yeah, I love it when
validates me.
people. Yeah, I bet you're like, it's like Kuroko.
I will retweet if anybody ever tweets at me.
Tongues don't look like strawberries. Trying to escape from your mouth. Anyways.
Fair enough.
There you go. Kiss X6 MangaPod. Yeah, so again, next week we are reading JoJo's Bizarre Adventures, Volume 1 through 5, Chapters 1 through 44, with special guest Octopimp. Thank you guys so very, very, very much for joining us. We loved having you in chat, and thank you for keeping it very polite. You guys are always super polite, and we love that and really appreciate that. Thank you to our lovely mod, Ian Leaf. You are fantastic. We will see you guys next week, hopefully at 7:30 p.m., which is when we usually start, 7:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We just had a heck of a time trying to figure out what to do today, and with all of
this worked pretty well, though.
This worked really well.
Yeah, I like this. Yeah.
So until I get a new graphics card, which we're having all sorts of problems with my graphics card, we might end up doing this where we don't have our pretty gorgeous layout. We might just do it where I screen grab our Skype calls, which means I will consistently get smaller, but that's okay.
By the way, I think it should be very clear. Some of you keep messaging us being like, all of these problems would be fixed if you guys just went back to Twitch. That's not true. That's not how this technology works.
It's not. It's really
This is not an issue with Twitch versus YouTube. It's a computer problem.
It's not, we've tried, I've been in contact with XSplit endless amounts of over, like, course of months and we still can't figure it out, so we're pretty certain that it is my graphics card, and so I can afford to get a new one because graphics cards are expensive. We'll just work around it. We'll find ways to deal with it, which is what MangaPod does, you know? We're jankball as shit, but we deal.
Just ask Disney for the money.
Yeah.
I'll give it to you.
Hey, Disney, can you get me a graphics card? I'm your Disney princess now. Okay, bye.
We're all Disney princesses.
We're all Disney princesses. Yeah, so we'll be here at the same time, same
Kawaii
place.
as fuck.
We're like kawaii as fuck.
Kawaii as fuck.
Same time, same place, 7:30 p.m. Pacific. We hope you all join us for JoJo's. We love you all, and we'll see you next week. Bye-bye!
Bye-bye!
I was like, are you guys not going to say
Bye.
goodbye?
Bye.
Hang on, there's the splash screen.
What?